The invisible bond you've been missing there is a woman in your immediate circle right now who sees you with a clarity that would probably shock you. She isn't looking at the curated version of yourself that you present to the world. She is looking at the man behind the mask. She knows the exact number of your years. She knows the weight of your past mistakes, and she has memorized the patterns of your silence. She has seen your flaws, not just the surface level ones you joke about, but the deep, quiet insecurities you try so hard to bury. And here is the part that should make you stop and think. Despite seeing all of that, she still feels something incredibly profound for you. She hasn't been scared off by your reality. In fact, your reality is exactly what drew her in. Yet, there's a high chance you've overlooked her completely, treating her as a background character in your life, while she has been quietly making you the lead in hers. Most men are blind to this because they've been trained to look for the wrong things. You've been told that attraction has to be a lightning bolt, something loud, sudden, and impossible to ignore. You're out there looking for intensity, chasing after the women who create sparks, drama, and instant chemistry. But while you're distracted by the fireworks, you're missing the steady glow of a fire that's actually built to last. This woman isn't offering you a roller coaster, she's offering you consistency. She has been a constant, stable presence in your life, and because she doesn't scream for your attention, you've made the mistake of assuming she doesn't want it. You've mistaken her peace for a lack of passion, when in reality, her ability to stay consistent in the face of your imperfections is the highest form of passion there is. You need to understand that you didn't see her coming because you're following an outdated, predictable script. Society has spent years conditioning you to believe that love and attraction are about the hunt, about youth, social status, and perfect timing. You think if you don't have the perfect life or the perfect look, you aren't being watched. But real emotional attachment is much more dangerous and deep than a simple checklist. It thrives on something most people are terrified of: emotional safety. This woman didn't wait for you to become a finished product. She saw the hesitation in your voice when you were unsure of yourself. She noticed the way you withdraw when things get heavy. She saw you at your weakest, least impressive moments, and instead of taking that as a sign to leave, she used it as a reason to stay. She found comfort in your truth rather than being sold on your highlights. Women are biologically and emotionally wired to be selective with their energy. They do not invest their time, their thoughts, or their presence into a man without a very specific reason. If she is still there, showing up in small, consistent ways, it is a deliberate choice. She didn't try to manipulate you with games or create fake chaos just to force a reaction out of you. She didn't feel the need to compete with other women for your gaze because she was busy building something much more permanent, a deep, internal understanding of who you are. While you were busy chasing loud signals, the women who are unpredictable, the ones who make you wonder where you stand, or the ones who provide a quick hit of excitement, she was existing quietly in your world. She was observing your soul, feeling your energy, and waiting for the moment you finally realize that the peace she provides is worth more than all the excitement in the world. Stick with me, because once you realize who this is, every single interaction in your life is going to look different. The unbreakable strength of the familiar, you might find yourself sitting there, questioning the logic of it all. You wonder, why would she choose me? Why would she invest her heart in someone who has visible scars, a messy history, and a list of flaws that I'm still trying to fix? The answer is as simple as it is profound. She didn't fall for a carefully crafted fantasy, and she didn't build a crush on a version of you that doesn't exist. She fell for the cold, hard reality of who you actually are. Most people are addicted to the high of the honeymoon phase, that frantic, heart-pounding excitement that feels like a drug. But excitement is a volatile fuel. It burns hot, fast, and inevitably leaves behind nothing but ash. This woman is playing a different game. She has traded that fleeting spark for familiarity, which is the invisible foundation of a connection that is almost impossible to tear down. While everyone else is looking for a thrill, she has found a home in your presence. She didn't connect with your polished self, the guy who has it all figured out, the one who is always on or performing for the world. She connected with your raw honesty. She saw the moments when you weren't trying to impress anyone, the moments when you were tired or frustrated or just being yourself without the filters. To her, your age isn't a number or a drawback that makes you less desirable. It is a stabilizer. In a world full of men who are still chasing ghosts and living in chaos, your maturity and your life experience represent a grounded presence that she desperately craves. She isn't looking for a boy to play games with, she's looking for the steady weight of a man she can rely on. She has become so attuned to your energy that she can now predict your reactions before you even have them. When you feel overwhelmed and start to pull back, which is your natural defense mechanism, she doesn't get frustrated. She doesn't take it personally or lash out. She chooses patience. She gives you the space to retreat because she knows you'll come back to the safety she's built for you. But you need to realize the heavy price she is paying for this. Her silence isn't a sign of confusion, and it's certainly not a lack of interest. It is deliberate, calculated restraint. She is fully aware that the moment she speaks her truth out loud, the entire dynamic shifts. She knows that by confessing her feelings, she risks shattering the emotional safety that currently allows her to be near you. So, she stays quiet. She swallows her words and tucks her feelings away just to ensure she doesn't lose access to you. Don't make the mistake of thinking she's stuck or that she has no other options. She is a woman who could likely be elsewhere, but she isn't because you have become her emotional reference point. Whether she realizes it or not, every other man who tries to enter her life is being held up against the standard you've set. They are being compared to your laugh, your integrity, and the way you make her feel when no one else is looking. You are the benchmark, and in her mind, no one else is measuring up. This is the peak of emotional selection. She is performing a high-stakes balancing act, managing the massive risk of investing her soul into a man who hasn't yet given her a clear signal. She isn't just hanging around by accident. She is actively mapping your patterns, learning your habits, and memorizing your rhythm. She knows how you like your coffee, how you react to stress, and what your silence actually means. She is building a bond through sheer repetition, the boring stuff that most people overlook, but that actually forms the strongest glue between two humans. This is an unspoken understanding that runs deeper than any romantic speech. While you're wondering if anyone truly sees you, she is standing right there, having already mastered the map of your heart, waiting for you to notice that the bond is already built. The silent shift and the power of recognition, if you start paying real attention, you're going to notice a shift in her behavior that you previously dismissed as randomness or moodiness. This is the moment where you see the signs of her internal self-regulation in real time. You'll notice she is incredibly warm, engaged, and present one day, only to become slightly distant or guarded the next. It's easy to misinterpret this as her playing games or losing interest, but the truth is actually much more vulnerable. She is protecting herself. She has reached a point where her feelings for you are so heavy that she has to manually pull back just to keep her balance. She's caught in a constant tug of war between her desire to be close to you and her fear of being the only one who cares. Every time she feels herself getting too close, she retreats into a period of silence to see if the ground beneath her is still solid. She isn't trying to confuse you. She's trying to survive the uncertainty of not knowing where she stands in your heart. What she is waiting for isn't a Hollywood movie moment. She doesn't need you to show up at her door with a bouquet of roses or a grand, scripted speech that sounds like it was written by someone else. She is waiting for clarity. She just needs a simple, honest sign that her presence in your life is actually recognized and valued. She needs to know that you aren't just used to her being there, but that you actually see her. It's the difference between looking at someone and truly recognizing them. A small acknowledgement, a moment of genuine eye contact, or a comment that shows you've noticed her consistency. These are the things that give her the permission to stop guarding herself. She has spent so much time being your anchor in the quiet moments. She just needs to know that you've felt the weight of that support. Without that signal, she stays in this loop of warmth and distance, waiting for you to bridge the gap. You have to realize that the strongest connections on this planet are almost never the ones that start with a bang. We've been lied to by movies that tell us love is all about the fireworks and the loud, dramatic declarations. In reality, those bangs usually lead to a quick burnout. The connections that actually survive the test of time are the ones that manage to survive the quiet, the ones built in the mundane, Everyday moments where nothing exciting is happening. You need to stop looking for the loudest person in the room, the one who is constantly demanding your energy, creating drama, or performing for your attention. Those people are usually just background noise. Instead, start paying attention to the woman who has been consistently there, year after year, month after month. She hasn't demanded a thing from you. She hasn't forced you to change. She hasn't pressured you for a title, and she hasn't made her love a burden. She has offered you everything while asking for nothing in return. This consistency is the most honest story she could ever tell you. We live in a world where words are cheap and everyone can promise the moon, but very few people can actually show up every day when things get boring or difficult. Not everyone who feels a deep, soul level connection to you is going to have the courage to say it out loud. Some people speak through their actions, their patience, and their refusal to leave when things get messy. Her silence isn't an absence of emotion, it is a container for it. Her consistency is the proof of a bond that is already rooted deeper than you probably realize. If you've been feeling like something has been missing in your life, stop looking toward the horizon for something new. Look right next to you at the person who never left. That is the story you've been missing, and it's finally time you started reading the chapters she's been writing for you in the silence.